Hello, everyone. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Today, we're having another episode on, I think I'm going to call these episodes Let's Talk Business. And I think what I'm going to do is once a week, drop a business episode. So something that's sort of in that realm. Because in this podcast, I do have a number of people who are entrepreneurs or who are leaders of some sort. Or in some sort of leadership capacity. And so today's topic is going to be on, do you see your blind spots? I want to say that again. Do you see your blind spots? One of the things that I do at my company, especially whenever I put a new leader in a position, is I have what's called post meetings, PULSE, something I either read about it somewhere or maybe I made it up myself. I can't remember. But anyway, that's just what I call it. And what I like to do is once a week, especially in the first couple of weeks of someone being in a new leadership role, I like to have people sit down at the table with that person. Sometimes I do it as a group. Sometimes I do it one at a time. And I like to have them list some pros and some cons, what's working and what are some areas that this manager or this person should improve. And it never fails. In fact, I just recently had another one of those sessions today with someone, if I can be very honest, someone I'm sort of grooming to take my place to sort of help out with a lot of the leadership roles that I do so I can have more time to do this. But anyway, it never fails whenever we do things like that. Whoever's in that leadership role always walks away having learned something new about themselves. It never fails. And I absolutely love having those kind of meetings. And it's the kind of meeting where you go into and it's just, you're getting the perspectives from other people, and I ask everyone all the way through to the receptionist, just, hey, what are some areas you see that are great and what are some concerns or some areas you see that this person can improve on? And I always tell the person before we go into that meeting, this is an opportunity to learn. Whenever you're in a meeting like that, you're in an opportunity where you get some golden nuggets. You get to see things that you normally wouldn't see that are your blind spots. And so when you go into those kind of meetings, you want to go into it with the mindset of, wow, what can I learn from this? And I've done this many times with my crew, with me. I'll have them sit around a table. I've done this a whole lot. And I'll say to them, okay, right now I'm not the owner of this company. I'm not the president. I'm a person sitting here just like you all are. I need to know, what are my blind spots? Give me the pros and cons on what you like and some areas you think I need to grow in. And I really push them on the cons because I want to know, what is it? And I've had some things that's kind of stung at me a little bit, and it's okay. It's needed. I've had people say to me, Zia, quite frankly, sometimes I think you're too nice. I think sometimes you give people a chance over and over and over again because you believe in people so much and you want to rescue and help everyone, that sometimes you need to make those tough decisions a little sooner, And everything in me wants to get defensive when I've heard something like that, But then I take those nuggets in. I think, how can I learn from this, and what systems can we implement to make sure that I'm setting the right example, that there's a balance of grace, which I strongly believe in giving to people, giving them time to learn. But there's also a balance of, we have goals and KPIs, or what we call them, that need to be hit. And so I take a step back and I learn from it. So if you're in some sort of a leadership role, entrepreneur role, or what have you, start having post meetings. And again, that's just a name that I call it. And I typically would have it done in the first couple of weeks of anyone being promoted or in any type of a position. And you will learn so much from it. I always tell the leaders before we go into a meeting, it's not a time to be defensive. It's not a time to have something to say back against what people say. There's no retaliation in this. This is purely, wow, let me grab some gold from this. Does that make sense? I have one example because I got to give a biblical example. I love the book of Exodus when Moses' father Jethro, remember we talked about that in Exodus chapter 18. Moses' father Jethro, his father-in-law, I should say, came to visit him. I'm not even going to read the passage because we've done podcast episodes on this. So go back and find it. I don't even know what I called it. I don't know. Go back and find it because I can't remember the title I gave it. But I know I did a whole podcast on this chapter. But Jethro basically visited Moses. And Moses would, from morning to night, be at the, I don't know, top of a mountain or someplace. But Moses would be the one that everyone brought their problems to. Remember that? All day, every day. He would be the judge of people. And they would come to him with disputes. And he thought he was doing what was right, trying to settle their issues. But then Moses' father-in-law came to visit and said, what is it that you're doing? He said, give me a second here. He said in Exodus chapter 18, verse 17, Moses' father-in-law replied, "What you are doing is not good. You and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you, and you cannot handle it alone." And so Moses goes on to listen to his father-in-law, and his father-in-law basically showed him his blind spot. He's like, "Are you kidding me? You mean telling me that everybody has to come to you to get their cases judged? No. You delegate and appoint some men to handle that. And then let them only bring the really, really important cases to you." And it changed everything for Moses. He had a blind spot. So I just say we all have blind spots. I probably have one now I'm not aware of. And that's why it's always a good idea to seek the company of people who know more than you. Yes, I did say that. Find people that know even more than you know, either in your field or in the workplace or what have you, and learn and surround yourself with people that are not just yes people. You want to be around people that's going to challenge your thinking a little bit. You don't want to walk in arrogance or walk in pride, thinking you know it all. I could very easily say, look, I've been in the staffing industry almost 32 years. Nobody at this table can tell me nothing. I could walk around with that attitude. But in humility, I like to sit with my crew and say, show me what I'm not seeing in myself and in my leadership. What do you all see? I ask everybody. I'm talking to receptionists, everyone. What do you see? What do you see that I'm not doing or that I need to improve on? And the things that come out of those meetings is absolutely phenomenal. And what I love about it, because I set that example, when I go to other people or managers and I say, hey, we're going to have a post meeting, they saw my example. They saw my example and they see that, a good leader is able to take those hits. That don't mean you got to agree with everything people say, by the way, but don't get defensive. Take those hits, look at each situation, every comment that's stated, and say to yourself, what gold can I pick from this to make me a better person? Does that make sense? That to me is what defines a good leader. I don't care about you making mistakes. You can make mistakes all day, but can you learn from it? And can you be in the company of people who are giving you advice and input, and you're humble enough to take it? Moses had more authority and more power than his father-in-law. Of course, he didn't have to listen to him, but look how his life changed as a result, because his father-in-law showed him a blind spot. So I forgot already what I called this episode, but I think I called it, Do You See Your Blind Spots? I want you to spend some time thinking about that. I'm going to close this out. I want you to comment. Please comment on this if this helps. I love talking business, and I'm so glad God is finally putting in my spirit, Z, it's okay to go into some business segment now. So I'm sort of gently lifting you all up. I got to be careful with how I say this. I don't want to say to a business mindset, because it makes it seem as if I think I know everything, and I don't. But I just want to shape your thinking in the business world from with a biblical perspective. That's a really good way of putting it. I want to put some power on some things you may already know or some things you may not know. So I'm excited about having more business segments, because I can talk business just like I can talk about the Bible all day. I can sit and talk business all day. So I'm very, very happy to be having these segments. Please let me know if these are helpful. These are going to be short 7, 8 or so minute segments, just talking about a business concept. Then we're going to my goal is to get some guest speakers on the show, and we're just going to have a lot of fun. I love you guys. You know I do. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Love you all. Bye-bye.